Life is hectic right now. I mean, it always feels busy, but May seems like just some kind of stress-a-palooza for everyone I know. It can be nice to slow down, take a deep breath, and be somewhere else for a bit. With that in mind, I invite you to join me on a trip to the rolling pastoral hills of Beacon Isle with a little zine called Season of the Moth. Before we set out, I need you to do a tiny favour for me, Brian, your overstimulated hedgehog piloting a human-shaped flesh mech. Leave a comment on this video. I'm going to use them later to wring some juicy drops of serotonin out of my shriveled brain. It could just be a thumbs up, or maybe an emoji of a moth. You do you. I give you total creative commentary license. For now, let's get on with the review. Season of the Moth. Season of the Moth describes itself as a TTRPG zine about the mysterious and whimsical Beacon Isle and its fantastical inhabitants. It cites Breath of the Wild, Eastshade, and The Hobbit as its cultural inspirations. This 16-page zine teases a land enriched by its Moth Queen. It supports implementation into basic and advanced style role-playing games like Black Hack, and showcases a mixture of locations, monsters, spells, and delightful fluff. Season of the Moth's concept comes from illustrator Michelle Henry, while its words and layout are the work of Charles Fergusson-Averie. Charlie also runs Feral Indie Press, who crowdfunded this zine during 2021's Zine Quest 3 event on Kickstarter. The zine's writing is pretty standard as settings come. There's a randomized table, an island full of locations to explore, a queen with soporific dust, and cave-savvy smugglers. You know, just regular adventure stuff. The written text isn't significantly long. You're looking at maybe half an hour to digest the whole thing. In Cliff Note form, there's a washed-up Moth Queen who sheds dust all over the island. Huffing the dust eases anxiety, and after a while, creates an unshakable longing to never leave the island's shores. The dust can even cause moth mutations, with locals sporting extra arms or fuzzy antennae. Most islanders are pretty docile, but those looking to shake a wing can join an order of Moth Knights. They defend the Moth Queen and crusade around the island. There's a local cult of lepidoptophobes who wear masks to avoid the Queen's musky spores. The island's cove also hides a giant bat who smuggles contraband and corrupted dust. By the way, Lepidoptera is the Latin classification for moths and butterflies. Now, for the especially brave, you can face down the Lepidopter Lich, a sort of Mothman meets maggot wizard who'll drink you like a juice box if you're not careful. Make sure to kill every last one of the grubs that erupt from his corpse, or he'll be bound to return to harass the island again in the future. If your adventurers are feeling underprepared, there's also a smidgen of local spells and equipment to help them on their way. Physically, Season of the Moth is a 16-page zine with an additional 2 pages on the cover's interior. The cover is printed on 200 GSM silk finish card, while its pages are printed on 100 GSM paper, also with a silk finish. It's staple-bound and measures 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, which is a standard half American letter size. In layman's terms, it's small and thin and fits delicately in the hand like some kind of fragile bug. Because it's so light, I feel like just by handling it I could damage it. The text is fairly large, legible even at arm's length. It uses a thick brush font for its headings and a heavy serif font for the body. The pages don't seem to follow a clear grid structure. Most feature 2 columns of narrow text with wide margins either side, and there are some exceptions that jam illustrations and tables together to make do. I love the variety. There's a bit of everything in this zine, and plenty to inspire you to hatch your own fluttery ideas. It does what it says on the tin: soft, pastoral adventuring. I also value its conciseness. There are a lot of products that waffle on and on and on. They're beautiful, but more often than not they just sit on my shelf unread. Season of the Moth is small, but potent. Lastly, the illustrations are well curated. Michelle and Charlie have done a great job integrating artwork onto every page. Now, sometimes the art is a little too close to the body text for my tastes. That said, the artwork avoids the common pitfall of repeating what the text says, instead adding to the overall narrative and world building with additional quirks and details. First of all, the silk pages. I say it every time, but I hate them. They're shiny, they damage easily, and are hard to read in bright light or anything other than the perfect angle. If you're printing your own project, please use untreated and unbleached paper stock. I'd also alter the text density. The leading, which is the space between sentences, is very tight throughout. This makes each paragraph blur together into an intimidating block. A larger page size, or more pages, would give each section space to breathe. Finally, I'd redo the artwork in color. The black and white illustrations have a lot of heft, and this weighs the eye down as it travels from corner to corner. It's important to acknowledge that printing in color is more expensive than in grayscale, and that can change the feasibility of a physical print run. That said, a lot of, if not all of the work I've seen from Fergusson-Averie Press has been heavily black and white. I challenge them to make something bright and vibrant for their next project. All said and done, that's my review on a dime for Season of the Moth. You can find all the links to buy this zine and others from Fergusson-Averie Press in the description of this video. A lot of focus can sit on exceptionally popular titles. Sharing the attention they get helps budding creators in our community flourish. If you want to swap reviews with one of my books, such as the fortune-telling subsystem Vice and Virtue, or the daring animal one-shot system Scurry, drop me a message. Okay, that's all I've got for now. I'll catch you later.